this is Daphne, and I would just like to say welcome to another Stitch with me. Today it's going to be, this is Hope and Strength by Glendon Place. This was part of the Be Well and Stitch hashtag that they were doing the beginning of the pandemic in March, where the designers just got together and created patterns for us to keep ourselves occupied during the time. So this is what I have, and I'm working on this top little quarter up here. I am changing it because I'm trying to reduce what I have in my stash. So I'm using all DMC threads, and I'm not using any of the Mill Hill beads or the dinky dyes or any of the fancy flosses that it calls for. So this is a 32 count linen, I believe. Just basic white. So this is what I have so far. And yeah, so we're just gonna work on filling in some of the white. So I just want to say that I hope everybody has had a great start to their new year, and I hope that everybody, has great and wonderful stitching time in 2021. And I hope that, you can find joy and peace in your stitching and stitch on things that make you happy. So I had asked on my Instagram if anybody had any topics or questions that they wanted to talk about during the Stitch with me, and I had a couple. So one that I did receive was asking me to describe my perfect stitching session. And for me, any stitching is good. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it can be 3 hours, it can be 8 hours. And stitching for me is a way to, what am I trying to think of? Is a way to de-stress from the day, just to take my mind off of things that are going on in the world, and just be at peace. I just find great joy and comfort in just putting my needle in holes and making little X's. So for me, my perfect session is just that. Anytime that I can sit down after a busy day and just stitch my little heart out. I feel it helps me to just relax, and sometimes I will sit right here where I am currently in my living room, and I will pop in my headphones, and I will watch YouTube videos on Flosstubers, and see what progress they're making on their pieces, and interact with them. Sometimes I'll pop on an audiobook and just get lost in the story. There's been times that I've just been stitching away and didn't realize it, and I'll have like 500-600 stitches done in a short time frame. That happens to me a lot when I'm working with just one color on a piece. Like for example, my pandemic piece, that one there is all one color. So for me, that I can just get lost in the stitching on that one all the time. I can just be stitching away, and then 3 hours later I look at Pattern Keeper and realize that I did like 600-700 stitches, because it is easy to get those bigger numbers when you're not constantly changing your thread colors. I do like pieces where you have to change as well, but there are times that I just like to get lost in my stitching. So yeah, so for my perfect stitching session is just any time that I can sit down and get lost in my stitching. I'll sit on the couch, I'll snuggle up under my little fuzzy blanket. Sometimes if I'm home alone, I'll just pop on some random show on the TV and just sit there and listen to the voices, not even have to really be looking at the TV to, because it's more of just a background noise for me while I'm stitching. So yeah, that would be my perfect stitching session. Not really too picky on what I do, what I work on, how much I get done, or anything in those, along those lines at all. So yeah, and then I figured I would just go and do some more getting to know you questions, so that gives you guys a little bit more of who I am and things that I like. So let me pull these up here for a second. It's not letting me get it bigger. There we go. Nope, now it's not gonna. Okay, whatever. So be it. So, excuse me, the first question is, are you a morning or a night person? I'm definitely a morning person. I tend to be up early in the mornings. I just like to be up early. Early bird gets the worm. Get lots of things done. I like to start my day early. And I'm usually in bed like by 9. So another one, am I left-handed or right-handed? I am right-handed. There's only 2 people, I believe, that are in my family that are left-handed, and that is my mother. That was my mother and is my oldest niece. Everybody else in the family is right-handed. There are little things that I try to write with my left hand just to do. I can do two-handed stitching where I'll have my left hand on top and I'll keep my right hand on the bottom of the fabric of the frame if I'm got my frame in something where I don't need to hold it with my left hand. Sometimes I'll prop my frame up on my left leg and my chest if on my bigger frames, and I'll just go to town that way, doing two-handed if I'm tired of holding it. And coffee or tea, I'm not a coffee drinker at all. I do not like coffee. I don't like anything coffee flavored. So I will drink some tea. I do like iced tea a lot, but I am not a sweet tea person. Just give me the regular, plain old grand old iced tea, and we're good. We go from there. Another one was, do you bite your nails? No, I do not bite my nails. I've never bit my nails. I just never, that was never something that I ever did. And do I have any piercings or tattoos? I have 2 piercings, one in each ear, and I have 1 tattoo. I got several years ago with my best friend. She went up to get one, and I had thought about it for a while, hem and hawing, didn't know if I wanted to or not want to, and I just bit the bullet and did it. I don't think I would ever get another one. The only way I would ever get another one is if I found the perfect piece to do in honor of my mother. And do I have any pets? Yes. I have a African pygmy hedgehog, and we have a 10-gallon aquarium with an algae eater, 2 tiger barbs, and we just got a frog to put in the little tank. So it's fun at night just to sit here, and occasionally look over and you see the fish swimming around, or, you know, the frog bopping around in the tank. And then, you know, we'll see the algae eater sticking out of the little taco truck that we have, because we got a little taco truck in there. So it's kind of cute just to see him bopping around, eating up all the algae, keeping the tank clean. And what else? Have you ever gone camping? Well, if anybody knows me out there, just looking at my pattern, okay. If anybody that watches my videos truly knows me, they already know the answer to this question. Sorry if you can hear the truck backing up. Neighbors are getting a delivery. If anybody really truly knows me that watches these videos, they already know the answer to this question, and that is going to be yes. My family grew up, my sister and I grew up camping. We started out camping in a truck camper that was on the back of my dad's pickup truck. So yeah, 4 of us, 2 adults and 2 girls in a truck camper, for the first couple times we went out. And then we upgraded to our pop-up trailer that we had, and my parents had that pop-up trailer for years. And then, you know, we go around to different campgrounds up in New England with with friends of the family, and just exploring the area, and, you know, all the fun things, all the nice camping resorts and stuff like that, campgrounds, and, you know, things like that. And then my parents went with friends of theirs at the time, and we went to this campground called Cold Springs in Ware, and they fell in love with it. It was a very nice campground at the time. They've changed their name. When we first started, they were a campground. Now they're a camp resort. And they've got everything you can think of under the sun. But when we first started there, we were what is called weekenders. That is just basically people that come in for the weekend, or for a week at a time, or a month at a time. And then they fell in love with it, and they came across this couple that was selling their trailer and the site. And my parents jumped on it, and they were there for, oh goodness, quite a few years. That was back in the 90s, I want to say. Late 90s, mid 90s. Like I said, I grew up at this campground. And we they had that little trailer there, and then they upgraded to one trailer after that, and then they upgraded to the park model, which was very nice. And then my dad just sold it, in the process of selling it. So that time has ended, but so many great memories and such of that place. Just so many memories, as I'm sure my sister has some good memories as well. But it's definitely something that I've enjoyed and our family has enjoyed. I can't wait to go do it some more and explore new places and all that. Yeah, let's see what's next. What's my favorite animal? I don't know if I really say I have a favorite animal. I'm an animal lover for sure. We've had dogs and chickens and cats and rabbits, guinea pigs, and ducks. My sister wanted a horse. My parents never gave her a horse. I'm trying to think of what other animals we've had growing up as a kid. I think we've had fish, we had guinea pigs, all the not necessarily normal childhood animals, but we had our fair share of animals. So if I had to guess, I guess I would have to say a favorite animal is the dog. I don't mind the big dogs, but I like the little doggies. We're still currently doggy sitting, and she's asleep right here on the left side of me. Favorite color is purples, which I kind of like on this pattern. These little designs here are all purple. This is we've got 2 different shades of purple. When you look at them on the spool, they look very close together. So you got 208 and I believe 209, yeah, are the 2 purples that are in here. And I was like, oh, they're so close together, but once you get them on here, you can definitely tell that there's a difference between them. And I like that it does just a little bit of a difference, breaks it up a little bit. But yeah, I like purples. A lot of my pieces have some form of purple in them. Purple. And then favorite hobby, I would have to say currently favorite hobby is my cross stitching. I do knit, I do crochet, I've done a little bit of diamond painting, I've done scrapbooking, I've done plastic canvas, what else have I done? I've done some card making, yeah. But right now, I'm just sticking with the cross stitch. For me, it just takes up a little bit less space than knitting. Not that knitting itself takes up the space, it's just the yarn that takes up more space, and when you only have so many square feet and of a house, you kind of limit what you work on. for sizing your projects and stuff. I just personally only have 600 square feet in my home. So, you know, the hobbies that don't have supplies that take up a lot of space. And yes, I understand and I do know that cross stitch can take up a lot of space because you got your fabric supply stash, you've got your floss, and you know, all that, and all your projects and stuff. But right now, as I'm getting back into it, I've dabbled a little here and there over the years where I've done like one project from a kit. You know, I've never really done the whole have an entire DMC stash worth of DMC and stuff like that. I still barely have anything, and I'm the type of person that I kit up what I'm going to start, and I go from there. I do have a lot of kits that I received from my friend that already have all the supplies and everything needed. So I'm not one to just go and buy, there's the back. I'm not one to go and buy just to buy. My budget does not allow that for me to do that. And I'm not saying that buying just to buy is a bad thing. I just know for me personally, my budget doesn't allow that. And that's okay. Everybody does their hobbies and things different from each other. And that's, you know, one good thing that I like about this is just because the two people are doing the same project doesn't mean the two people that are doing the project are doing the project in the exact same way. You know, I could be doing, you know, for example, with this piece, I'm kind of working in this little corner of the page, of the pattern. Somebody else could be working going completely across all the pages. And that's how they work, and this is how I work, and in the end, it all works out the same. You get the same end result in the finished product. You get a nicely done cross-stitch piece. Let me see. One of the questions, were you ever a scout or a brownie? I grew up in the Girl Scouts. My sister's 5 years older than me, so I was not old enough yet to be a Girl Scout or a brownie to start out with, or Daisy. I don't think I ever did Daisies, but I don't remember. But I wasn't old enough to be officially a Girl Scout. So I was like the little mascot of my sister's Girl Scout troops until I was old enough to be in it, because my mother was one of the troop leaders. She was in it. She was a troop leader for my sister for quite a few years, and one of the troop leaders. And she was troop leader for me for a couple of my troops. And she stopped when I stopped. When I was in high school, I went all the way up to the highest one you can go is to the cadet level, and after that I stopped. We had so many fun adventures when we did the Girl Scouts as well. Still talk to the troop leader from time to time. She's still a very good family friend, and we would go and do, you know, overnight camping trips. We would have to go out into the woods around our campsite and find our breakfast. And it's not like you're going out and finding, you know, leaves and berries and things like that. No, they would go out before we would even get up in the morning. And they would go and hide like the boxes, the little individual boxes of cereal. So we'd have to go and find our cereal boxes. We would do, excuse me, we would do events like we'd have to eat the donuts off the string that were hanging above our heads. We would do some banana boats. We would do the normal Samoas. We would do, I can't even remember, but there were so many fun things. We'd cook on tin cans, number 5 tin can, I believe it was. And I remember helping my mom and the other troop leader to make the little candle part that we would, the little wax melted part that we would light. That was fun. Sarcastic fun. Because you'd have to cut the corrugated cardboard to the width of the can, like the tuna fish size can, or the cat food size cans. You'd have to cut the corrugated cardboard to those size cans, and then you'd have to roll it up, and then you'd have to put it in there, and then obviously I was younger, so I wasn't doing the pouring, because then you'd have to melt the paraffin wax, and then my mom and the other troop leader would pour the paraffin wax into the corrugated cardboard, which was in the tin, and then that would have to sit and harden back up again. So when we'd go camping the next time, we would have that paraffin wax tin can to use as our heat source for when we made our pancakes on the big tin cans. And then if we were camping at a Girl Scout camp, we have our own, set of responsibilities. Each girl would have their own job that we would have to do. Some of them weren't so glorious, but, they had to get done. Like cleaning the latrines. Nobody really wanted to get that job, but we all had to take our part and do it. We always did the cookie sales every year. And that helped to pay part of our way if you got it, or all of your way if you sold enough, to summer camp in the summers. Excuse me. And then we would also do crafts. So every meeting, we would learn a new craft, and then in December, in the holiday season, the local high school, I think it was the high school, it was at the local high school in the gym, they would have a holiday bazaar, holiday fair, and we always had a table there, and we took turns selling and running the table every day, and it was fun, because, us Girl Scouts put our hard work into making these little ornaments for people's trees and things like that, and we got to interact with the community as well. And then we also did, we would go to one of the local nursing homes, and we would sing Christmas carols to the residents every year, and they would get a kick out of that, seeing us come in and singing Christmas carols. And we'd also give them Christmas cards that we had made as well. So that was nice. They liked to see us come through and sing our songs and give them their holiday cards, because sometimes those people that are in the nursing homes are alone. They don't have family that come visit them. So having us come and see them, and you know, was the highlight of many of their days for them, of the day for them. So many fond memories of my Girl Scout years. One of the memories that I don't remember doing this, but my mother always told me that I did, and maybe my sister can chime in on this one as well. But they were doing an event at a camp, another Girl Scout camp, and they were learning to do knots. And like I said just a little while ago, I wasn't old enough to be technically a Girl Scout, so I was just the little mascot. I went everywhere my mother went. And this one particular place, like I said, they were doing knots, and the instructor that was teaching all the other girls how to do this one particular knot, she couldn't figure it out. And I guess, from what I'm told, I just went up and I took over the knot and demonstrated how to do the knot. I don't remember doing that. I don't remember what the knot was. I just going off what I was told that I did. So yeah, little Miss Me, you know, showing everybody else how to do it. But we had a lot of fun doing those type of things. And then, let's see, what other questions do we got here? There goes my scissors. What movie have you watched repeatedly? Well, I know my sister's gonna laugh when I say this one, because she had to deal with this one growing up as a kid. And she even bought me this movie on DVD one year, a couple years ago. So I guess I love Annie. I don't know what it is about that movie, but the older version of Annie. I have not seen the new version of Annie, so I'm just talking more about the old version of Annie. I guess I loved it so much that I had to watch it all the time. And every time got asked what we wanted to watch, I always wanted to watch Annie. And my sister always had to sit through it. I always got the choice to pick the movie, and I always picked Annie. So, like I said, a couple years ago, I think it was for my birthday, she bought me Annie on DVD. So now I can watch Annie anytime I want. And I have not yet to watch the Annie DVD. I need to, and I want to. Maybe that'll be something I watch in the next coming days, because it's supposed to be rainy few days here. So it'd be nice to snuggle up on the couch with some cross stitching and watch some Annie. Because you know what? The sun will come out tomorrow. Not here, but somewhere the sun will come out tomorrow. And, you know, we'll go from there. But yeah, so movie I watch repeatedly, Annie. Any of the Disney ones that I like, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc. Those are all ones I like to watch repeatedly as well. What other ones have I watched that I've watched numerous times? Grease. I like to watch Grease. I like to watch Titanic. It's just making me want to watch some of these movies again. But yeah, that's pretty much what movies I have watched. I mean, I've watched more movies and I've watched them several times, but those are the ones that are coming up top of my list here, off the top of my head. And then, let's see, what other questions do we got? Excuse me. Am I on time or always late? I am the type of person that, for me, on time is being early. I like to be someplace I like to leave my house with enough time that even if I get in traffic, I'm still going to be there for my time that I was supposed to be there. So like I used to work a 9 to, well, not 9, but some days was 9, some days was 6 o'clock in the morning. But I used to live an hour and a half away from where I was working. And I would have to leave sometimes at like 4 o'clock in the morning to ensure that I would get there at the time that I needed to be there. Especially when I was opening up, there were procedures that needed to be done before the building could even open. So I like to get there like a half an hour early so that I could make sure that I was there on time and get those things done before the children started arriving. And there were times that I had children arriving and sitting in the parking lot with their parents in their cars at 5 minutes of 6. So I couldn't be late. But there were times that I was late, and the parents understood because of the weather, and they were great about it. I just felt bad because I was walking in at like 5:55, and they had, they were there waiting for me. And that happens, and like I said, those parents were very understanding. I was in contact with my boss at the time, giving her updates on in case anybody called, and she had all the numbers of the parents. So she was letting the parents know that we're there in the park, the first few parents, letting them know that, hey, she is coming, she's on her way, she's just stuck in some traffic, which is a very unlikely scenario that happened in the mornings, in the early mornings, at 5:30. But yeah, so I am the type of person that I like to be there. On time for me is being early. And like I said, that is just me. That's how I am, and that's me. Even when I had to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, I would still leave my house at 7, because I was hitting the rush hour, and it would literally still take me upwards of an hour and a half, if not a little bit longer, to get to my place of employment. Going home at 6 o'clock at night was a breeze. That was just straight shot through. But when I left at like 3 o'clock, it was crazy because I would hit the very beginning of the rush hour in certain places, and it would take me upwards of an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to get home. But it happens, and what can you do, right? So that is going to be it for today. This is the last few stitches for this stitch with me. I hope that everybody learned a little bit more about me. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I will answer them in another stitch with me or in my update video. Yeah, you can, any questions you have. It doesn't have to be about this piece. It can be, just a general cross-stitching question that you want to know more about. Anything you want me to show, feel free to leave it below. I can work up a tutorial, or not necessarily a tutorial, but I can walk through how I would do it, or, anything. I am open to talking, cross-stitching, or you guys have any other questions about me in general, feel free to leave them down below. And just going to finish out these last 2 stitches here. So this was a good good stitch with me here. I got a few rows done of the fill-in on the background and this strip here. I got a little more of these little pinwheely flower things to do over here, and then we can fill in some more on that side as well. So, and if you found this, that you enjoyed this, you know, feel free to do the like and the subscribe button so that you know when I post other videos, and then my update video will be, my update video will be coming out the end of January or the very beginning of February. So yeah, this is the top right hand corner of Hope and Strength from Glendon Place, and this was the Be Well and Stitch movement that they did, and this was a free pattern. I'm not sure if it's still free anymore. When I will check, and if it is, I'll link it down below, so that you guys can stitch it as well if this is something that is interesting to you. All right, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.